Hello guys and welcome to another video. Before we get started with it, I want to say the next. I am not a financial planner nor a financial advisor. I am not FCA approved. I'm not approved by any institution that allows me to give financial nor investment advices. Nothing mentioned in this video should be considered investment advice or guidance. Everything shown, talked, and explained is for pure and only educational purposes. The risk is on your own hands. Enjoy. Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be trading New York session, well, pre-New York session and New York session a little bit. Today is Monday, November 15th, and let's just get straight into it. I wanted to do something first, which is in the 4-hour, because price action right now has been ranging. I mean, we even can see it on the 4-hour. And it's not quite good for us, not entirely, but not bad either. And we're clearly bearish, right? But we do have this small thing here that, if you think about it, it's a range that, if we check to the left, was the reaction to this extreme POI here, but then failed to hold. So this could be considered as the cause to to that major break, to that major POI break, right? To that major supply break. So okay. So basically, just wanted to remember myself that we are in a POI, and I didn't 4-hour range that costs mentorship, basically. All right, now we're going to continue to do what we always do, and that's basically analyzing 15-minute structure, thinking that I'm at 15-minute time frame, right? Yeah. So see, here's the thing: we're ranging a lot. That's a problem. Took liquidity down, took liquidity up. Respecting this extreme PO, I took a lot of liquidity down there. Let's actually draw this. Lots of liquidity here, taken by this extreme POI there. So we'll sure keep that in mind. Probably in the 5-minute we have somewhat of a flip there. We'll see. We did have a flip to the downside here, but then a flip to the upside potentially. But we do have supply here. Cost to break. 15-minute. We do have this. I don't really see the need to draw it for now. 5-minute, as I thought, did cause a reaction and then broke. So basically had somewhat of a flip at this point, so let's just draw the flip, not the supply area. I do see this as well, that we're probably going to be able to see it more clearly in the 1 minute, although it doesn't really have that much liquidity, but basically took all of this with that move down. My bad, liquidity. And let's see what happens here later. Potential next area to be mitigated, and that's pretty much it, ain't it? Could draw this area that comes from mitigating this that comes from mitigating this. Sorry. Did it cause? Well, we can't really say this was a flip. No. All right. We'll draw this just in case. Right now I'm a little bit bullish due to this, right? But we would have to break this high for us to think of this, right? So we had a push up, retracement, mitigation on an area on demand in this case. Yeah, the thing is that we had broken the high for that. So this is what actually happened. Now we took liquidity. And it's more likely actually to get lower, isn't it? Because as you can see, we have to push up, come back down. We actually mitigated here, right? That 15-minute order block, I assume. And now we had left a lot of liquidity. This worked, broke the next high. Now price came back down, reacted to the 50-minute here, caused a flip, right? What by breaking this is the flip. Awful F, but okay. So this is now a little bit more likely as we've broken that, right? Also, we are bearish, as I said. Thing is that we're still within this 4-hour order block, which kind of sucks because can't really go very bullish because well, we're within that. So what are we thinking here? 1 minute had a flip by breaking this low, which was here, came back up, mitigated this range, started to go lower. Supply, well, demand break there. This 1 minute looks kind of good. Well, might be mitigated by its own, by the candles that have, well, next to it. Taking a lot of time, but honestly I think I need it right now because price action is not really that clear on intent. And honestly, best thing to do here is to just step away until price action, as an example, breaks this high, or will breaks the low showing continuation. But we'll analyze and see if we're missing out on something that could basically give us that small thing that we're looking for that could change the bias or change the way that we're looking at this, right? So we tapped this supply, sorry. We didn't really tap anything, but we did take liquidity, and when we took liquidity, we actually mitigated something up there. So this somewhat of a range with a couple of candles, right? It's looking quite good. We did have a flip here. Price reacts to this and then fails to hold, but as you can see, it's really messy price action, not something that I will be trading unless it clears up. And took some liquidity, but the liquidity is really not that clear. You have a couple of bosses such as this one. I still like that 5 minutes, so leave it to that. Kind of went for that mitigated wick, didn't it? Kind of does look like that. As of right now, there's nothing for us to trade. I do like this order flow that has been created now. So as an example, price coming back down to whether the extreme or this pause that could take some liquidity as well. Do look good. Not to take it as a risk entry, but just wait and see what happens when price approaches them. The question is, are we bullish or are we bearish? That's big issue, because like at this point, when we have this push, this might confirm low, this might confirm high, price in ranges. So anything that actually happens here, any kind of flip between this range, it's actually not really a flip because it's within confirmed structure. So give me a second, I'm gonna have to answer a text really quick. Alright, so as I was saying, we basically are within confirmed structure, and the only areas that we can really trade as an example on the 5 minute will be, well, this extreme here. As it is the order block, the area of demand that basically caused this whole move, right? Because it's the last sell before the buy. It did leave some liquidity, so as an example, we could have refined it down to that, but it had liquidity, so basically continue to go lower and lower. What I do like about this, as an example, is that price mitigated that unmitigated wick on the 5 minute, which is cool. Everything else was kind of mitigated already. Yeah. Alright, so I think we're bearish, but the thing is that we haven't broken this low, and we've had a pretty strong reaction to that. By breaking this low, we would have had this. This is what we have, right? That order flow. Have that order flow, right? And what happened is that we broke the low, but we didn't break the important low, in my opinion. if we were to do that now, well, the trend or the bias will be a tiny bit cleaner, but yet not shift tradable. I don't know where it ends. I want to have it in the middle. I do like this mitigation though. That's very bearish mitigation. So it took liquidity, mitigated the range, which was already mitigated to be fair, but it mitigated it again, so it's fine. Honestly, right now I don't really have a clear bias. I don't have a favorite for the morning, and I don't think price is really giving it away that easy to understand it. So right now there's not much for us to really do, but to wait and see what happens through the next few minutes. And right now, so Monday, right? New week, new life, new week. I've got a couple of new rules, got a couple of new goals for this month and then December that I want to follow very strictly. And some of those rules are to just be really conservative, only looking for really good trades, just being as conservative as possible, but of course being aggressive as well, but being aggressive on good trades and trades that look good and everything, right? That have good confluences, that look good when the intent is clear. Pretty much that, right? So yeah, it's gonna be a very patient day. I'm not gonna trade until I see something like actually clear. But right now we really don't have anything. That 5-minute order block does look good and everything. We could say that it is the cause to the flip, but problem is that we're kind of bearish. Problem is that we don't really have for sure the fact that we're bullish or not here, right? It's just a little bit complicated right now. If we had a clear bias to the upside, that this is probably a trade that I could have taken, or I would have waited for the CE. And the thing is that since this actually reacted to nothing on the left, I can't really say for sure if I would have gone for this just like that, right? Just with an entry right here. And the reason to that is because, well, that's just a risk entry. And I usually go, well, not usually, but always go for confirmation entries, not risk entries. So it would have been a tiny bit hard to actually get into this one. Alright. We'll see what it does. Not really expecting much from it. And if we do get to a lower area, an extremer area, as an example like this one, that will be a tiny bit better if we see something. Right? Let's suppose this happens. And we can definitely go for that. Right? So we mitigate something on the left, we flip, and we go for the cause. Or the extreme, depending if the cause is, I don't know, has liquidity or something. That will always depend on context. I think this small order flow per se that we have on the 1 minute is looking really strong, and this move as an example really shows the strength that the bearish market has right now. But I wouldn't be for sure about it. That's why, like, I'm not buying because I think we're bullish, because I think we're bearish, and I'm not buying because I think we're bullish, because I don't think we're bullish. I think we're just ranging that right now, right? We don't really have a confirmed bias at this point. Not confirmed. I'm not looking for 100% thing, but at least I want some confluences in my direction, because 50 minutes is just awful. It's just completely awful. I mean, I'm getting this order flow, let's say up, so higher high, higher low, higher high. But look at the structure, look at the way it was created. I prefer something way cleaner. I prefer this to happen, right? Not this. You know, it's just ranging. That's pretty much it. I mean, we are literally moving within 31 pips for the past 4 days, yeah, for days. Look at the price action we have here. That's also kind of good for the 4-hour order block that we're currently on, or the range, whatever you want to call it. Because at the end of the day, the more that we range within a POI, it's likely for that POI to cost something. Not saying that from this point Eurodollar is going to go bullish, so we can buy and then hold all the way up to the next high. But what I'm saying is that it's a really good confluence for the buys, and that we could definitely get some long-term buys from basically this. Not something that I will do because I don't really like swing trading, but for sure something to consider at the very least. This is now a pretty good reaction. Keep in mind this bearish candle did react to this supply, so in the case that we actually broke that high, we could definitely think that we are that we're having a flip basically. And as an example, I could take this as my confirmation entry, which I really have to consider, but I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have time to consider it too much. How much spread does this have? Right, that's huge. Is that right? Okay, 3 then. So 4 should be. Haven't flipped yet, so fine. So let's analyze this again. 5 minute looks good. We have a flip. We reacted to a demand area that was already reacted, but as an example, the 5 minute wick that we actually reacted to was never mitigated. We took liquidity on the way down. I mean, it's looking really good. I'm not gonna lie. The problem is that the bearish move is also looking good. Did it react to something? Kinda did. Wouldn't really say that's a really clean area or anything like that, but is it the 50% of the range? Well, I don't have Fibonacci for some reason here. I don't really use Fibonacci, but you know, this is the range. This is the 50%. Right there. Let's see it. Nah, it misses the 50%, but to be fair, we do mitigate this, which is somewhat of a pause. I mean, I don't know. Also, it has retraced strongly right now. If it does create liquidity, that will be something quite cool, but it would have to create liquidity, flip, and then come back down, you know? It's also a little bit of an error in the middle. I really don't like this trade at all right now. I don't really think it's a trade that I would actually take, but I guess we'll find out, honestly. Just setting the lot size just in case I want to. Took some liquidity as well there. We kind of reacted to this, not the actual extreme shit. No, doesn't really matter at that point. 5 minute flip was caused by this. So of course this is the area that actually caused the flip, right? That's something that we have really clear right now. My problem with it is not the area itself, but the trend. We don't really have a clear trend, and I think I'm losing my time here trying to understand it or anything. So I'll leave an alert here. And then I'll set a couple of alerts for these areas, honestly, because I think it makes more sense for price to get down to, as an example, either the extreme with this this thing here, this area in the middle, basically. But I think I'm more bearish right now than bullish. I really don't think it makes that much sense for price to go higher right now. Now, as an example, if we do break this high, no, I will need to break this high for me to be really sure about the price, because as an example, well, something that could happen, right? Let's delete this because it's already not a trade for me. If this were to happen, price just goes higher. Breaking this high, well, breaking this area of demand, we still have this, right? So if it comes back down to this and we can take a CE, for example, there, it's a little bit of a risk entry, it will be way riskier than usual due to the fact that we're still within supply, and supply is currently in control, right? Because at the end of the day, we did have a flip, right? And we did create a lower low, and now potentially creating a lower high, right? So that's my problem right now. I think we're mostly bearish. The only reason why I could be looking for buys is because we reacted to demand, which was already mitigated, which is a little bit bad, of course. We caused a flip on the 5 minute, created somewhat of an order flow. So as an example, if this works out now, we could definitely buy at some point, but as an example, we should be careful with this area, and of course this one, which is the most the strongest. Yes, the strongest. So still respected that demand, as it didn't cause a flip, but there was no way for me to go for that. Respecting the demand for now. We'll see if it actually breaks a high and if we actually want to go for it or not. As I said, I think we're a little bit in the middle, so not really convinced about the whole area, the whole trade itself. So still a long way to go. Honestly, I think there's still a lot of stuff that could happen. So yeah, I was gonna say I might pause the video, but we'll have to see what happens if it breaks a high or not, because it's really close right now. But yeah, honestly, for me to buy, I mean, I could buy whenever we break this high, right? Following this somewhat of order flow that's being created here, and targeting, as an example, this. But I would prefer for price to, as an example, leave this order flow, right? Cause a break of this. Break this high at the very least, and then come back down. So this will be a CE for sure. The only problem is that we're still within that, and it will take this as liquidity, right? And this is liquidity, which are a little bit of, so you can see, really close equal highs. So yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. Kind of already had a DCE at this point. I don't think we actually broke it. Yeah, we did, but very little, but we did. Not sure about this. I think we will be trading very in the middle. So I'm actually not gonna take this. I'm gonna take it on the demo. We'll see how it works out in this one. I don't really want to do more than 4.4, 0.5. But this is not something I go on the challenge account, because it just doesn't make that much sense for me right now. We'll see. So for now, I think I'm gonna be pausing the video, and we'll see what happens in the next few minutes. But I really need new structure to be created. And as an example, if supply was to hold, at this point I couldn't even sell, because if we do get a good reaction that we can actually sell from, right? The problem is that we're coming from this potential new order flow that has been created. So my target should be this instead of the new low, right? Looking for that lower low, as we're supposedly in a supply market, right? So yeah, I guess I just need more time or more information for me to be able to understand what's actually going on. So for now, I'm gonna be pausing the video. Come back in the next time I have something interesting to say. All right. Can I? Yeah. Okay. So pretty long pause. Let's see what has happened. So the trade at the end did not work out. So the analysis that I had done was basically pretty much accurate on the fact that I should not trust that potential opportunity we had over there, and didn't take a loss. Well, I took a loss on the demo, but not on the challenge. So that's fine. Then price broke down, and here's the thing: we have a 5-minute demand to supply flip here, and something that I thought about doing is going for this trade, because of the fact that this move here broke this low, right? And the risk entry to that works, right? So this could have been a CE, and the CE is also basically the cause to, let me lower the music, the cause to the 5-minute order block to basically fail. Now, something that I kind of missed out on is this order flow, right? Which I wouldn't say was really easy to spot, but maybe could have managed to go for it. But yeah, let's actually go to this one first. So price tapped this area that I thought was important. I like this one better than this one, to be fair. But yeah. So price basically creates a low, takes that low as liquidity, right? Breaks this high, comes back down to the extreme range, works out, right? As simple as that. Honestly, I didn't see it like that because I just said, well, I was waiting for the flip. If I would have had a flip, maybe I would have gone for this. Don't wanna lie, to be honest. But what I forgot, which is something that I saw a lot last week, which is quite what I'm using here, is that price sometimes will get close to an area, fail to actually tap it, but then come back up, taking this as liquidity, right? So basically, I think that's what actually happened here. Price just created liquidity here, went down, took that liquidity, reacted to that area, broke a high, and this is our CE. Now, risky CE in my opinion, which is why I think I didn't go for this, honestly. We react to an area in the middle, right? Honestly, as I said, this, in my opinion, is better than this one. Because, I don't know, I just don't really like the most extreme area possible. I usually like the one that is next to the extreme area, right? But of course, it depends on how many PIs you have and how they look and everything. So, so this happened. When I break this high, when price breaks this high, that's when I place the sentry, which is still there, right, on both the demo and the challenge. And my problem with that is that currently we will be going against this order flow, right, which in this case caused a flat 5-minute flip, which, to be fair, looking at the 5-minute, it's definitely impossible to go for that. I mean, there's no clear candle for us to be able to trade there, right? So we reacted to something back here that came from reacting to something back there and everything. But this 5-minute structure, sure, we can see the flip, pretty neat, right? But besides from that, there's literally nothing that we could have done about from the 5-minute, sorry. But on the 1 minute, it was a tiny bit clearer, right, what actually happened. But again, not something that I would have managed to spot, and something I didn't manage to spot, and could have been seen with a little bit more effort, keeping in mind that we broke this 5-minute flip, kind of following that order flow, but at the same time, for me to be able to say that we are actually following this order flow, we would have actually had to break this other low, right? Because we did this. This is my low, right? So this retracement here and taking over this high, I want this low to be broken for me to say that we are actually following this order flow. If we don't break that low, that's actually looking more bullish than anything else. And actually this move here looks very bullish, and that's what we'll get into now. So this trade at this point, the only thing that I don't like is this, the mitigation to that order flow that we have on the bearish side, right? So it's not looking very good right now, and this is kind of the reason why I got this, which, to be fair, we did have an area of demand here, right, which was respected, right, and then we created this one, which does cause a reaction but then fails to hold. Not sure if I would count this as a flip, but this whole thing as it is does cause a reaction again but then fails to hold, so maybe we could call it a flip. But to be fair, basically I prefer to count this as a break, and that's it. So risky trade here. I do like the fact that we did create a little bit of inducement here, right? Only thing that I actually like about this. And we have nothing left to do but wait and see if this works out or this works out. Honestly, I'd prefer for price to get up here first, because if this trade works out, we'll be inside it. And if it doesn't, then we actually break this high, this order flow that we have. And if we don't get up to this demand that we have, supply that we have up there, then this trade is likely to work out, right, due to the order flow and everything. So for me, we did have this order flow, as I said. We changed that, and for now we are respecting it. But I need to break this high, well, this high, right? By breaking this high, we can confirm that we're bullish, right? And well, at least up to this area. But at that point, we have broken a lot of supply and a lot of order flow. So at that point, I could kind of confidently say that we might be pretty bullish. Cancel. All right, so just wanted to make that small update. Had a long pause because honestly I didn't really see the meaning to say anything unless I actually place the trade and stuff. So yeah, really strong thing. Don't really like that, but we don't really have news for today, so for now we're gonna keep it. So that's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about. I'll be pausing the video again. So the sell had a good start. I forgot to actually place a trade here on the demo, but okay. So this is the entry. This is what's currently going on. I got the entry on the MetaTrader. Sadly, didn't place it here. But basically, whenever we get to break this low, right? Whenever we actually break that low, that's when I'm going to move my stop loss up to this high, right? It's minor in the loss, a tiny bit. Well, a tiny bit will be basically half, to be fair. And we'll see what happens from there. But basically, it's pretty much all that we can do, honestly, for now. I can't really move my stop loss right now to this, because price could easily just take this as liquidity, mitigate something a tiny bit higher, and then continue to fall, or we'll just completely fail if we wanted to, of course. But for now, that's all. Being fair, not sure if price can get all the way down to this. If we are actually in a supply market, it definitely can. Otherwise, price will definitely stop here. And I wanted to check something. We do have 5.53 R, and I do feel pretty comfortable getting a take profit with a 2.5% profit. So basically, my weekly target, well, for now is 8%. That's my weekly target. But in the future, it's going to change to 5 whenever I actually become funded. When I become funded, I'm going to be doing 5% a week, and that'll be all. So that's basically literally to take profits in a week, risking a 0.5 and going for 5R, right? But yeah, just wanted to mention that. So going for 2.5% today will be really great. So that's what we're going to be aiming for, which is 14.44.6. And that is okay. That's actually a little bit. Why is it a little bit? Oh, 5.53. All right, yeah, that's fine. Although this is the actual target, which is 50. And well, that's basically 2.67. So that's fine. There it is. Alright, so now we can move our stop loss above that high. So we'll place this, let's say half loss. And this will be plus 2.5. And we're gonna delete this in both the demo and the challenge. Because right now I don't really see the need to leave this buy. Might work out, not really interested in finding out, because if this actually gets down there hitting that take profit, then it'll be already enough for me to be outside of the market. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Gonna be pausing the video. Honestly, we do still have some demand areas that could definitely cause reactions. For example, this respected the previous demand, so could cause somewhat of a reaction. Hoping not, but I don't know, it just doesn't look strong enough for it to actually do that. We do still have that. Again, not really expecting anything down to this, right? So nothing for me to do now but to wait. And yeah, gonna be pausing the video. I'll come back whenever I have the result for this trade, and depending if I'm gonna continue or not. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Alright, so the take profit was hit. It even, well, by trigger and by stop loss, it's just the old alerts. So it's likely to get down here. What were we aiming for? Here, 2.64 basically with spreads, with commission. So that's basically it. I mean, honestly, I could have allowed it to get down here. As I said, if the trade was to work out, it's likely to get down to this, as it is the order flow, right? The order flow should break this low, and well, it's done that at the very least. Could get down to this, as it may not, and maybe then even breaks a low or not, right? Basically, I was pretty comfortable with the 2.5% profit, right, to begin the week with. So in my rules, I've said that if the first trade of the day is a take profit, then I'm already out, and I can only take 2 trades per day. So good trade. Targets for the day was hit. I have, if I get to, so here's the thing. My rules are now that if I hit a 2.5% profit, then great, I'm out of the market, right? Now, if that trade can go higher than that, as an example, 10R, 20R, something like that, I'll secure a 4% profit, right? So hitting a 2.5% profit already sets me out of the market. As I said, this could easily get to that, and I would have basically secured a 4%, which is 8R, and that will be pretty close to being hit. But it is what it is. I'm happy with that target. Happy to begin the week profitable. And that's honestly pretty much what I wanted to talk about on this, to basically do and talk about in this video. Order flow, honestly, I didn't entirely like it due to where we were coming from, right? But order flow is order flow, and at the end of the day, believe it or not, it works out, the order flow. It's something that I really don't like. I didn't really like the trade, and it worked out quite amazing, honestly, and I'm happy about that. So now I'm out for the day. It's 10 in the morning, so it's great timing for me. And that's all. I hope this video helps anyone, and hope you take something away from it, and have a good day. Alright, so I was editing today's video and decided to do a small post-market analysis and basically just show a couple of extra things. I'm using the replay tool because after this move, price action then just turned really ugly, so I'm not really interested in showing that. And let's begin. So I showed up to this trade, as you were able to see, got down to 8R, which was what I could have targeted today. Then ranged a little bit, but then ended up going to the target and even further away. I think price is somewhere around here, if I remember correctly. So after basically this trade, we did get 2 more opportunities, 2 clean opportunities that we'll see now. So we clearly at this point are bearish, right? The order flow that we had created based on, well, first of all, we were already bearish due to the fact that we broke this major low on the 15-minute. And when we do cause a flip on the 5-minute, that's the only thing that was kind of telling us that we could be bullish at that point, right? Due to the fact that the 15-minute had gone bearish, basically, I thought that the flip on a 5-minute should be a little bit less important than the flip, or the flip on the 15-minute, right? So given the 15-minute a little bit more of importance, meaning that we will give the bearish side, or the supply market, a little bit of a more importance this day, is what basically made me realize after this flip, right, that this mitigation could have been considered either the CE already or the risk entry, and the confirmation entry is what I went for, and ended up working out quite good, right? Took this as inducement, which is something that I've seen a lot. Price just gets really close to an area, fails to hold, and then comes back up to the area that we were thinking about in the beginning, and well, that works out, taking that as liquidity, right? I actually saw that last week a lot, and well, we probably have the same thing here, right, with those highs, and here as well. So yeah, pretty much it. So basically, price was reacting to this for a bit. That's something that I would have paid much attention to. It starts to go higher, right? We probably do have, we do have a flip here. Supply gets broken, so it's a flip. Price kind of reacts to this. I would have liked for it to actually get up here, so I would have first counted this as a inducement, right? But when this high is taken, this one, and price reacts to that and then breaks a low, maybe put in a little bit of effort in the analysis, we could have realized that if the inducement or the liquidity above this high was already taken, and the area that was supposed to be mitigated, that price wanted to mitigate, had already been mitigated, right? We even have liquidity here now that I see it taken by this high. So after that, price goes lower, reacts to an extreme demand, fails to hold, right? And then will takes this liquidity and reacts to this. Now, this is not something that I would have traded in my opinion. We do have somewhat of a pause here that we could say causes the break to the supply, right? And maybe just when that's broken, we could have gone for this, but I think it's a highly unlikely trade for me to take. Now, when we break this major low here, and we have this series of order flow already, basically coming from mitigating this whole range, and so we mitigated that. We then mitigate this, we then mitigated this. So this was the next point where price could easily react to, and that's what it did. And as you can see, the trade was a little bit messy depending on what we were paying for. For example, 5R is what I drew it after it happened. But basically it gets to the 5R, and well, it gets to 4.96 if I remember, 4.94, and then actually starts to range a lot to then get finally to the 5R. And this, I drew this, and I actually took the screenshot while it was happening, and the result afterwards, send it to the Telegram group. And the reason to that was because, well, this was really clean and unmitigated, still following this series of mitigations or order flow basically, and well, it took a lot of liquidity as well, right? So that mitigation there was quite clean, right? Not something that I would have taken, at least not likely for me to take that, but really good trade. And as you can see, price did go pretty far away from probably that 4-hour order block that I had to the left. And well, bias was right. At the end of the day, having the right spot, the bias right is pretty much what you need. Then you just gotta find the trades in that direction, simple as that. And yeah, so just wanted to do that small post-market analysis. I'm really happy that I found this trade, because these two trades would have been a little bit hard to find and a little bit hard to actually take them. But a pretty good day overall, so I'm happy about that. And again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took something away from it, and I'll be seeing you until the next one.